혼자 있으니까 좋다냥. 혼자 있으니까 좋다냥.
Alright, what's up guys? We are back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know if it's any better. We were dropping frames. Thank you to those of you who have jumped back on. I don't know, does it still seem just as laggy or is it better? I actually updated OBS and restarted my computer. So hopefully the issue is gone. If not, it might just be a temporary Spectrum internet issue. Class is not over. Woot woot. What's up, Alvina? We already have Kit Crow, Lazy Boy, Flip, I Am Godly, and Alvina back in the chat. It's better? Nice. The Big Kusa says it's better. Okay, okay. Hopefully it stays better. Okay, so we already did Special Interception before we restarted the stream. And then we upgraded Alice's equipment a little bit. I tried a reroll, which was terrible. What do you say we try a reroll on Snow White? Lazy Boy confirms it's a lot better. Nice. So both Twitch and YouTube are looking like it's better. Very good, very good. Okay. So I could... Let's see, I think it's the arms that need to be rerolled. Increase elemental damage, increase defense, increase charge damage. So I could reroll Snow White's arms to try and get attack up, or I could reroll Scarlet and try and get something other than just flat attack. Let's do a poll here really quick. Malk says it's much better too. Good, good, good. All right, thanks for letting me know that things were lagging. I'm glad that we were able to solve that issue. All right, so we'll do a quick poll here. Reroll which Scarlet arms, or was it Snow White's arms too? I think it was her arms as well, right? Yes. Snow White arms. Alright, the poll is live. It's way better, better, better. It looks good now. Okay, yeah, chat is all saying it looks a lot better. Yeah, so that's the hope. So for Scarlet, we want to keep attack, ideally, and get max ammo. And then for Snow White, I mean, this is not a terrible roll right here. But ideally, we just want another attack up on Snow White. So this is what we're looking at currently with Snow White's arms. These are all decent stats, except increased defense is kind of not really... I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not really that important. And then the charge damage and charge elemental damage are both decent things to have, but they're really low on the scale. And then for Scarlet... You know, the attack is good, but there's literally no other stat, and I really want max ammo, because like the other thing that I have is crit damage, charge damage, which is useful, and then increase attack. So it's like we're not dealing with a whole lot of great options there. All right, we will close the poll in a few seconds here. Ba, 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 ba. All right, we will close in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ending the poll now. A couple people got in some, I saw like 2 last-second votes right there. Okay, so 75% of you say Scarlet's Arms, 25% say Snow White Arms. Okay, so probably Scarlet's Arms. I feel like I kind of agree with that. The thing is, like, I really don't want to give up this attack. So, like, the chances of getting an attack and max ammo are really low. But, alright, let's go for it. Change effect. Ooh. Oh no, guys, this is like the worst, like, decision here. Like, these are both, like, the best possible things, but I have to pick one or the other. Okay, so I think it's time to do another poll. Okay, we're going to do another poll and see, do I keep or do I switch? Keep, change. All right, poll is live. Yo, this is rough. This is exactly what I was afraid of happening, okay? So, I've re-rolled Scarlet's Arms, I don't know, or her armor in general, like 15 times now. And I have not once gotten max ammo. This is my first time getting max ammo. But I'm going to lose my 11% attack. I mean, 60% ammo is pretty dang good, though. Why could I not get both? It is a tough choice, but you say get ammo? Either or, I know. We're seeing Bekusis has max ammo. Ammo's better than attack here. Ammo's better, max ammo over attack in this situation. Which one has a low chance to get? Max ammo or attack? I mean, I think they're both, what is it, like 11%, I think? I can't go check it in-game here right now, if anybody knows off the top of their head. Because there's like 2 stats, I want to say like charge speed and charge damage have a higher percentage, is like 1% more or something like that. Ammo is so valuable on Scarlet. I kind of agree. Like, I have a level 7 Bastion Cube on her. So, I mean, max ammo, getting 60% more max ammo could then make that Bastion Cube, like, even more valuable. So you're saying, relatively speaking, Garrett, the ammo is on the higher end of the scale than the attack is within the attack scale? That sounds right. I don't remember what the exact percentage boundaries are, but I think you're right. Yeah, it's closer to max. Alright, well, let's go ahead and end the poll. This has all been a good discussion. And we'll end the poll in a second here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 75% of you say change, 25% say keep. That's the exact same split as on the last poll, except we had more votes this time. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I kind of known deep down all along, as we've been talking about this, that the max ammo is better. But that just really hurts to get rid of that attack stat. I mean, I guess at least I have increased attack on her other armor. Man, just having both would be so good. Being able to keep attack up and max ammo up would just be like the ideal scenario. So it really hurts. Okay, alright. We're gonna go for the max ammo. Okay. Technically, this was a W. Okay. So we got crit damage and attack on the helmet, and max ammo on the gloves. Okay, okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Alright, so... I guess it's time to go in for raids. I haven't even done level 7 yet, much less challenge. Oh, I'm in the middle of a mock battle, I guess. Alright, let's, quit that. Okay, so level 7, I'm gonna guess I can do this in 2 teams. I doubt I'll be able to do it in 1, but you never know. Let's see. Not sure, like, what the actual best team here is. We'll just go in here with this team. Get to try out our newly powered up Scarlet. Yeah, we'll watch the cutscene. Why not? Turn up some sound too. Because the song is so good. I like how Nikke can get the multi-hit on this boss too, as long as the legs are alive. Makes her burst feel less bad in this particular fight. And Scarlet's about to take out that right leg just on her own. Yo, we are shredding this boss's health. Oh no, re-rolled right there. That was a terrible time to have to reload. Oh, it's so bad. Alright, I'm pretty sure we can tank this. Let's see. Yeah, that was like not even a big deal, honestly. I imagine challenge will probably hit way harder when he does that laser. But in this particular situation, that was like not really a big deal to fail that. I like how right as the red circle appeared, that's when I was like in the middle of reloading. I probably should have taken cover, so I could have saved my ammo. Although in that case, I might have actually ended up having to reload like in the middle of shooting the red circles, and it would have failed it anyway. Down he goes. Time to take out ads. Scarlet just like totally wiped the field there. Shoot the legs again. Kind of annoying that they all want to like auto go for the core again instead of attacking the legs. Yeah, like, if I don't hold it on the leg, they'll automatically always just switch to the core. Yo, the longer magazine is definitely noticeable here. Even with just the 1 increased ammo stat. Like, combined with the Bastion Cube, that's pretty noticeable. Oh shoot, I took cover by accident there. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to quite finish this. But we should have a really easy fight on our second round. Yeah, I don't know, it says you die when you get hit by the laser. That checks out. Now just re-rolled ammo and hit rate on Scarlet. Nice. You had crit and attack on it before. Ooh, that's pretty rough. I mean, do you have increased ammo on anything else? Because attack is like dramatically better than crit rate, right? Hit rate is kind of not great either. 6% is pretty low. I kind of agree with Big Kusa. I feel like you probably, yeah, it looks like maybe you already made your decision, but yeah. That was a pretty low attack stat, so I wouldn't feel that bad about getting rid of it. Good damage from Scarlet, of course. Nice, 68% ammo on her chest. Very good, very good. Okay. Yeah, I only even have 3 teams set up here. We can go in with my, like, not very good Alice team. Eventually I'll have my Alice built up. She's just been low on my priority list because, you know, obviously I just put a lot into the Snow White team. She's my favorite. And then just other more general use characters like Modernia and Scarlet. And I just didn't get lucky with getting like a lot of duplicates on Alice either, so... Also, plus never pulling Maxwell makes Alice like significantly worse for me. I don't know, maybe this is all copium. Or excuses for not having invested in her more. Wow. It went down even faster than I was expecting there. The challenge boss QuickTime event is pretty BS. I mean, is the actual QuickTime event any different? Or just, like, getting hit by the laser then, like, messes you up? Alright. Challenge mode. Real quick, let me go back and see if I can upgrade a cube before I go into this. I don't think I have enough, but, you know, we did get cube fragments, so we might as well check and see. I think there's now a red dot showing you if you can upgrade it. But just in case. Yeah, I still need a lot more on most of these, I think. Wait, cube enhancement. Yeah, nope, nope, nope. I'm pretty sure I still need like 15 more on each of these, at least. And then like a bajillion more to upgrade my Bastion cube, but I don't think I'm even gonna do that anytime soon. Yeah. I think this is the only one we haven't checked yet. Yeah, nowhere near on that. Oh, we didn't check this one yet. Yeah, alright. Can't upgrade any cubes. That's kind of what I expected. Big Kusa says if you don't have a water Nikke, you'll almost certainly fail the QuickTime event. Oh, so is the QuickTime event like behind a shield in challenge mode? And yeah, failing it's an instant wipe. That's kind of what I would have expected. Oh, good point. X leader. I can quick battle this. I kind of like didn't even think about that. Get some more batteries. Yeah, definitely not enough to let me upgrade anything, but thanks for reminding me. Okay. Challenge. Alright, so let's just go in for a mock battle here, because I've never done the challenge mode. And then we'll just go in with kind of my, generic best team here and see what happens. Whoa! Alright, so it's just little pew pew laser, just one-shot Modernia. Alright, let's go ahead and retry that and see that again. So this is what I was predicting before. Having a taunt tank is probably really important here. This was what I suspected from the beginning. I had a feeling that little pew pew laser was going to hit hard. So I think like Nero might actually be really good in this situation. Dang, yeah, almost one-shot Dorothy right there. And now it did take her out. Rapunzel will bring her back here in a second. Oh no, reload! So this is gonna wipe us, I assume, right? Yeah. Okay. But why were you guys saying that I need a water unit for the QuickTime event? It didn't look like anything unusual. I just reloaded in the middle, so I failed it. But I don't think a water unit was needed there at all. So you can iframe or take cover when he shoots the laser. Alright, so what's the tell for when he does the laser? Oh, for the second QuickTime event, you say I need a water unit? Interesting. Alright, well we're just gonna like go in with this one. Dorothy's burst will make you fail automatically. Or AoE will make you fail the white circles if it goes off. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So how do I know when he's gonna shoot that laser? Does his face, like, glow? Oh, I didn't mean to take cover. It's okay. Not a big deal. This is completely just a test. So we're gonna fail this because we don't have enough DPS to do this, but yeah, that was terrible. Hold on. I'm just gonna retry and not even shoot. I gotta watch and see how I can tell when I need to take cover for that laser. His eyes start to shine red and the circles get smaller. Yes, and to get another surprise physics class, that's right. Okay. I think I took cover too soon there. Because his eyes are kind of like always glowing red, right? I'm not seeing any difference. I don't see any glowing. Alright, we're probably gonna fail this. Yeah, reload right in the middle of it. That's okay. Again, I'm just watching for those eyes to see if I can figure out when he does it. It's hard to see. No kidding, it's hard to see. I feel like the whole, like, the HUD is in the way too. Like where it shows the damage, it's just covering his face, so I like can't see anything. Okay, so do I just need to look at the targeting on the Nikke rather than his eyes actually glowing? Let's try that. Yeah, check the Nikke icon. That's kind of what I'm thinking might be a better way. Alright, so let's go to a Nikke where we're not getting blurred. Ooh, but I definitely took cover too early there. Alright, let's try this again. Oof, what even killed leader there? Alright, retry, retry, retry. Yeah. It like targeted one character, but then like it shot a different one, right? I saw that too, Mal. And it'll do 3 laser hits after the targeting. There's 1, 2. Are these actually... Are you just saying 3 separate ones? I see, because then we have like a gap of like no laser hits. And then we get the quick time event. I see. So you're just saying there's 3 that go off before the quick time event. And after that, you can just tank the normal gun. Yeah, it's just like shooting, for sure, for sure. Did I get anything good from Special Interception? Not really. I got a couple custom modules, but that was it. Alright, so I'm gonna look for that targeting again. Getting targeted. We'll take cover. We got hit. Shoot. Take cover again. We got hit. Go. Take cover again. Oh, I was too late on the 3rd taking cover. I think this team in general is going to have a really hard time with the quick time event because I have really small magazines. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. Okay. That quick time event definitely makes teams like this Alice team and the Snow White team a lot harder to use. Because like having enough ammo to just make sure you can shoot each of them without having to reload is pretty rough. Alright, but we're going to do another mock battle here with Snow White. You say Nihilister can one-shot the red circles? Without full charging? Can they one-shot without a full charge? Did we get a multi-hit there? Yeah, we did, okay. Oh, I was not even paying attention to the dodging, though. Whew. I think the fact that we have to dodge is going to make the Snow White team so much worse. Because, like, I can't hold the aiming here while I'm having to dodge. Dang, that was such... We got a critical hit there. We did over 58 million in one shot. Yeah, Malk, I thought this was probably going to be a bit easier than it is too. Yeah, just not even try and burst until after the lasers. Good call, Kusa. You get enough time to charge? Okay, so you do have to charge if you're using a sniper.
이런 걸 재장전 열심히 더 열심히 힘이 솟는다.
I don't even know why I failed that. I guess I just ran out of DPS, because I was clearly shooting that one. But I guess with having 2 of my units dead, just didn't have enough DPS to destroy the circle in time.
잘 된 거겠죠?
Charge speed is paramount on snipers. 2 minimum lines on your sniper. Yeah. Most of my snipers are not really leveled up. Okay, but what's another team that we can make here? Haven't put Senti on any team. Wait, do I have Pepper on any team already? I don't. Okay.
휴양지에서도 함께 할게요.
Who else? I don't have Guillotine on a team.
나랑 그렇게 같이 가고
I
싶어?
don't have Viper. Oh, actually, going back to my other teams here really quick. Would Mary be utilized on any of these? Not really. Okay. Alright, so back to what I was doing here with this one. Yeah, Syndicate, it was just because it's just like a placeholder team to know that like I hadn't actually set that team up. So yeah, I just had R Nikke's in there for no reason. Yeah, Kusa, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I think that like having a taunting tank is actually really strong in this situation. So I could put my Ludmilla in.
몸이 필요한가?
There's another burst 3 that I could use here. Could use power. Or could use Heron.
날 원하니?
Heron might be good because I can like wipe the mobs if I ever even get that far. Haran, I guess I should be saying. So where would that leave me with a third team? Could be Viper, Mary, Power.
내 도움이 필요하다는 거지?
Noah, maybe? The fifth team is always, like, really struggling to be relevant. Man, I don't even really have another burst 3 that's like at all relevant. I mean, I guess I could just put in Drake. Sugar's probably better though. This team is kind of terrible. Powerful reload cube is good, yeah. Yep. Yes, Kusa, I am aware. I've done a whole video on this. But thank you. Arya Folkwang can help with shields. Yeah, I've used the Arya Folkwang team in raids many times before. Is it enough to like make you survive the laser though, or you still have to fail, or still have to like pass the quick time event? I'm assuming the shields probably won't make you survive that. So like if I look at this team here, like my kind of best team, if I changed this to, instead of being Rupee, being Nero, that feels kind of good maybe. I could test that and see if Nero actually survives. And then I could actually put Rupee on this team instead of Senti. Where's Rupee? Rupee? I lost my bunny girl. Am I blind? Yo, how can I not find Rupee right here? I did take her off the other team, right? Where did she go? Oh, because she's down here invalid because I already used her. Duh. Okay, we're gonna quit this mock battle and go in again, and I'm just curious, will my Nero survive the lasers without taking cover? Yeah, I almost thought I lost my Rupee for sure. I have a feeling she's not going to be tanky enough. I'm probably going to need to take cover anyway. But let's see what happens here. Well, actually, she's tanking those hits pretty damn well. Oh, fail. Alright, so I should have taken cover to reload a little bit sooner. Alright. But yeah, it looks like this team with Nero is tanking pretty well. Oh, I love it when I make correct predictions. Because the double hit points basically when Harvester hits resting pose when he goes up and down on his leg part. Yeah, so you can multi-hit right at the joint of his leg and body. If that's what you're asking about. Oh, alright, I was too slow again. I gotta start shooting a little sooner so my gun is already ramped up. Yeah, we can really see the value of Nero here. And keep in mind, my Nero is skill 1s on everything. And no overload gear or anything. And she's still tanking this without a problem. Nice, cleared that, Nero's still tanking like a boss over there. Scarlet's almost taking out one leg on her own. Ooh, but speaking of that, then Scarlet instantly went down. Oh no, Rapunzel is... We must have lost the taunt for a second there. Unfortunate, but this is still going well. Alright, Nero finally went down. Dang. Yeah, could not clear those mobs fast enough, because like Scarlet being down really hurt the DPS right there. Okay. This is definitely something that will work well. I think we can take this into a normal, an actual fight. So I mean, the quick time event was not a problem there once I actually timed my my shooting properly. Okay, so I think the problem is getting any other team to work. Alright, what's this Ludmilla team? I feel like I could maybe make us... It might be worth me putting... Noir and Privity on this team, actually. But let's see if my Ludmilla can even tank this as well as Nero was. I don't know if Ludmilla and Pepper will have enough durability to do that. But we'll see what happens here. Oof, yeah. Ludmilla does not have the tankiness. Unfortunate. Alright. Still useful, so like let's retry this and I'll take cover a couple times and see what happens. Still useful to have somebody taunting, I think, even if I do need to take cover. I think I took cover too early there. Alright, yeah, that worked out okay. Alright, I don't know if Guilty has a big enough clip to do this without reloading, to be honest. Woof! Did not even have enough damage. Alright, we're going to retry that really quick.
직접 경험해보거라.
Makima's good. Yeah, I could see that.
오늘은 루피가 지금이야. 나를 쏘는 분위기예요. 때를 노려보지. 잠시 기다려라.
Alright, we timed those, that cover pretty well.
할수 있어요.
Rupee, wake up. Let's go.
오늘은 루피가 지금이야. 나를
Oof, we just took a lot of damage here.
이 몸이 왜 눈의 여왕이라고 불리는지 직접 경험해보거라.
Oh no, the reload killed us. That's what I was afraid of. Like, I was on it. We hit 3 of those circles, but then the reload.
기뻐해라.
You just really need a big enough clip to, like, keep shooting no matter what. Or, I guess, snipers if you're, like, really skilled with the sniper. What's up, Viscaton? Thanks for joining. I think not playing on PC for sure hurts my ability to use snipers properly for that QuickTime event. I think what might be worth it for the Snow White team is to put Makima on there. Where is Makima?
勤務時間だよ.
Because that way I can actually, you know, charge up Snow White's burst potentially without having to worry about it. Let's just switch the position here. Just use Snow White and shoot him in the face. Yeah, we are going to do that. Yeah, Flip. Diesel has really good ammo capacity for sure. We can talk more about a lot of these things when we start working on the tier list in a minute. Alright, let's see how Makima does here. Who do I consider the best taunt defenders worth building? I mean, it depends on for what, and again, we talk more about this when we get into the tier list, but Noah is extremely good. She's probably the most worth building just because she's so good in PvP. And then it might be Nero.
静かにできる.
Did we get the multi-hit? I think we did, yeah. So at least Makima helped us like survive through those lasers so I could actually do an uninterrupted charge shot with Snow White. And of course, we're not going to be able to do that at this point. Ugh. It's so hard. Oh no, I missed the last one. I almost had it there with Helm. I almost had it with Helm. Okay, so we'll try this not so great Alice team. Take cover. Take cover. Nice. Alright, we cleared that. Oh shoot, I forgot to start taking cover. Noir went down. No! I got all excited about clearing the quick time event, and now we're just getting blasted in the face by these lasers. Celebrated too early. Forgot that I needed to start taking cover. Oh no, Privity's dying. Oh, it's all gone off the rails now. Alright, alright, alright. It's okay. Joe Sauce, yes. The red circles come out in the order of the white circles. They kind of are in like a much more spread out pattern that doesn't match the white circles exactly, but it shows you kind of like what direction they're going to be in. Alright. What is my strategy here? For the quick time event, what do you think? Am I using power? Probably, I guess. I could use Mary too, but probably power is better. Oh no, Noah couldn't even tank all those like pew 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 lasers afterwards. I think the rocket is too slow. Like the actual time it takes the rocket to travel does not look like it can hit the circles fast enough. So maybe I should be using Mary there. I don't know if she hits hard enough, but oof. Noah was just eating it there. Oh no, Mary can't one-shot these circles. Yeah, that's... Alright, so I think this team is probably not viable because I have no one that can just take out the quick time event. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Do you guys see that? Noah is secret sauce right here because we just tanked the laser beam because she made us invulnerable. It like wasn't even relevant. So maybe this team is viable. And yeah, check out that damage from Viper. So maybe with this team, I just don't worry about it. I just time my burst and we tank the laser and then keep going. Oof, but yeah, there was no cover for her poor Noah to get behind. are always sounding like a maniac.
의뢰 완료.
Alright, 426 million damage. I don't know if that's even remotely good at all, if I'm honest. But that's what we did with our mock battle here. Kind of experimenting with different things. Let's see, if we go to the raids, of course people are doing like insane billions of damage here. Curious, chat, what kind of damage were you guys doing in the challenge mode? So I did 426 million with this round of mock battles. Also, I was probably on a lower frame rate because I was on like a low system setting, so I can probably push that up a little higher, just with better frame rate. And then tightening up my play for sure could get better. I could see there easily being like a 500 million damage there with the current setup, and I don't know if this is optimal, but seems like we had some decently functional teams there. I will do the actual challenge off stream because I have a, less chance of dropping frames if I'm just playing without streaming. Lazy Boy wasn't really trying and got 320. Alright, so for tips on this, I think having someone that just has... Well, okay, let's take a step back here. Obviously, just making functional teams is a must. You need to spread out so you can have like 5 teams if possible. Although if you have a less developed account, probably only making 3 or maybe 4 functional teams is going to be possible realistically, and then your 5th team might just be a throwaway. But things that we found that worked here. Watching for the red targeting on your Nikke is not actually looking at the boss's eyes because it's really hard to see. And plus, you even have the HUD with like the boss's health kind of covering his face half the time, so it just wasn't really viable. But watching for when the red targeting symbol appears on your Nikke and getting ready to take cover. And there's usually like, I'd say maybe about a 2-second delay between when it targets you and then actually when you take cover for when he hits. So that's really important. Or you can have a strong taunting tank. So like we saw Nero and Rapunzel were able to just tank that completely. I never had to take cover. So that's an extremely potent combo right there because it just allows you to just like keep DPSing the boss, and like being able to ignore that whole like red laser targeting is like a huge plus. So if you combine that combo with your highest DPS characters, I think that'll certainly push your score up a lot. Ludmilla could also theoretically tank, although I tried with Ludmilla and Pepper. It helped, but I still needed to take cover occasionally because if I just straight ignored the laser, she was not tankier. That said, if you have more investment in her, she might be tanky enough to just straight up ignore it. Makima can also work, although you're kind of like blowing your load with Makima, right? Because once she runs out of her ability, then it's just like not really... like then she doesn't have her invincibility anymore. Yeah, Flip in chat. So Biscuit is another way of adding invincibility, so that could help. I don't personally have Biscuit, but that could be another thing to add to your tank for sure. And then I found Makima helpful on the Snow White team instead of using my second burst 2 that I'd normally use like Dola, because it allowed me to just do my normal like charging and like manually targeting for the multiple hit without having to like interrupt things and like take cover. So Makima was really good on the Snow White team. Because Because then I was able to get like, what was it, like 58 million with just Snow White's shot alone. So that was pretty great. What else? So when you get to the QuickTime event, you want to make sure you're like reloaded for when it starts. So make sure you like take cover, reload, or manual aim, however you want to make sure. But making sure you're like max reloaded before the QuickTime event actually starts when you're seeing those white circles. If you're playing a machine gun, you want to pop out a little sooner to make sure that your machine gun's actually warmed up and hitting at its full rate. If you're going for that, you need to have somebody that has a clip that's big enough to last through the entire QuickTime event, because if you have to reload in the middle of it, you're done. There's no way you're going to be able to hit the circles. If you reload, you're just like, you're not going to be able to hit the next one. The other way to hit the QuickTime event is with a sniper. So like Alice worked there. I managed to clear the whole thing with targeting with Alice. I also was able to do it with Helm, because I guess I had enough investment in her. But then later on, when I was trying with my Bay Goddess Mary, who doesn't have any investment, even with a fully charged shot, I couldn't take the circle out with one hit, so that wasn't working for me. But what we found out is that you can use Noah to just completely tank the laser. So on your Noah team, you can just ignore the QuickTime event, do your burst, and then you'll be invulnerable when the big laser tries to wipe you, and you can clear it that way. And then, of course, all the other normal stuff that we saw earlier that I talked about in my first stream. You know, being able to wipe all the mobs when they come out, or shoot through the blue shield or the red shield with a water unit. You hit the legs to do a lot of health damage. Any other tips? Hitting the armpit. You'll notice when I was shooting with Snow White, I was not aiming at the knees or the core. I shot right in the armpit. Because I could hit the leg part and the body, so I got a multi-hit with her. You could theoretically do that with any Pierce unit, so like you could do that with Alice. You're going to be needing to use a mouse with that, though, and manually targeting. Because, like, on mobile, it's just, you can't, like, because he's kind of, like, breathing up and down, right? You can't, like, follow that and be, like, tapping at the same time accurately, unfortunately. I mean, mobile users are just at a disadvantage in general. I'm always playing on mobile, so it's a little bit harder for me, but, you know, it allows me to hopefully give some tips and insights to those of the rest of you that are also playing on mobile. So, yeah, with that strategy at my power level, for my first round of mock battles, I did 426 million. So, I mean, again, I think it's probably going to be pretty easy for me to push up to at least 500 million with my stats, playing a little bit tighter when I'm not streaming. All right. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. Let's see, do we have any dailies? Let's go into the event, and then we'll work on the tier list in a second. I just get a controller for my phone? Yeah, maybe. Is that a thing that you can actually do? I've never looked into that. Yes, Flip, we do get a mobile update soon with a different view. Unfortunately, it won't help with the more difficult controls, but the zoomed-in buttons and like view on landscape and mobile was my suggestion to the developers when they added it. And they may have already been planning to do that, I don't know. But still, really cool to see that, like, you know, even if they were already doing it, I don't know, they specifically asked the creators for feedback, and that was the feedback that I gave them, and now we're seeing that happen. Something you can mount your phone onto it. Yeah, I mean, actually, you know what, you're right. It's funny, I said, like, do they even make controllers? But yeah, since I have an ROG phone, they literally do make a controller for it. So, I mean, I guess I could do that. I don't know if that's really worth investing, though. Those things are expensive. It's like $100. Maybe. I'll have to look into it. If it's a way that I could actually, like, use a joystick to just manually aim like you would with a mouse, that could totally make it worth it. It's a good idea, Godly. I'll have to look into it. It is possible. Casually destroying Material H in the background here.
희망을 잃지 않는 이상 우리는 지지 않아요.
And thanks for all the help when we were going through our mock battles. It's always good to kind of get multiple voices in here and like develop strategies. So I appreciate everybody who was contributing to that. All right, what can we get in the shop? Probably not a lot. 2 things of core dust. Wow. Big win. All right. Let's go back to the lobby. Yeah, Lift, I feel like it might be a good investment. Good point. Especially because I stream and all that. I sort of have a greater interest in actually being able to play these well, right? Ooh, let's go to the outpost, see if my bulletin board is ready to pick up rewards. Looks like at least something is. Ooh, all of them except for my gems. Okay, we'll have to come back for that last batch of gems. Alright, I haven't done arena runs yet, so we'll do arena real quick. Special arena, anyway. Oh, and Tribe Tower. Is it all the Tribe Towers? No, that's tomorrow, I think. Okay. What do we have here for Missilus? I forget, who are we fighting? Oh, it's a zone control one. No! My Missilus team is not that strong either. Is there any way I could make this more buff? Not really, I don't really think so. I just have no investment in either Drake or Laplace, and they're like the best Missilus DPS units. Because Noir kind of just like replaced Drake for me, and I've always been a fan of using Power instead of Laplace, and I just haven't gotten dupes of her, so... Epinel's AoE will help? Really? Let me see exactly what she does here. Affects all enemies. Deal 227 attack damage. I could see. Yeah, good call. I used to have Epinel synced too. She probably would be good. Yeah, Immortal, honestly, I wouldn't stress about it. Like, when Laplace launched, she was one of the best attackers in the game. But, not to say that she's bad now, but I wouldn't say she's that needed. Like, there's... In most situations, you're probably going to use somebody else instead of Laplace at this point. Lif asks what Nikke would convince me to buy their $60 skin. Well, I bought the Rupee one. I've always been a big fan of Rupee, and the skin looked fantastic. But mostly that was because I just wanted to try out the new costume gacha system and like show that to you guys since I'm a content creator. It would be a tough sell to get me to do a $60 gacha skin again. Garrick just got his feelings hurt about what I said with Laplace. Like I said, Laplace is by no means bad. It's just... I would say if you haven't already invested in her and you're like a newer player, I wouldn't make a move to try and build Laplace at this point. But here, we'll do this just to check off the daily. You'll take another Noise outfit. But Noise already looks good. This is what I said when she got her first outfit. I was like, even her base looks good. We need more outfits for units that don't already look good. Like Pepper is a prime example. Like she wasn't that exciting originally, but then her new outfit made her like top tier, right? Dang, my Laplace just went down. I'm not really stressed about this tower at all. I'm kind of just trying to check off the daily task. Flip is a big Vesti fan, huh? So you'll buy a skin for her? Alright. $60 Scarlet Kimono. I mean, she kinda already... I don't know. I'm not sure if that would be new enough, to be honest. Yeah, Pepper had a good form. Alright. Alright, Malk would buy a Scarlet skin too, I guess. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, we complete... Whoa, hello? Completed our dailies, but let's go into a special arena fight. Yo, Rapunzel skin. I would totally be down for a Rapunzel skin. Okay. Who can we fight? Can we take 7th? I don't think I've ever fought this TCCM guy. Alright, so we essentially have the same team. This is like a straight up mirror match almost here. I think I should burst slightly sooner because I have Noah and he has Laplace. He is slightly higher CP though. Let's see, this is the team I should be able to dominate easily. And then this team is really difficult, I think. Okay, so I think I actually run... Do I run my Scarlet team here? I probably do Privity. I do probably do Scarlet, Privity, and then my throwaway team. Hello? Alright, Scarlet. Privity. Losing team. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Bunny Rapunzel. Yeah, I think they're probably done with the bunnies, but I would take it. Like a librarian or something. Hey, it could be kind of looking like Emma's therapist skin. I'd be down for that for Rapunzel. Alright, so easy first win there. That was predictable. This is the win that we need. Oh no, my Noah went down. That's unfortunate. Alright, but we got rid of their Emma. I think we got this. Yeah, we got this. We got this. I'm surprised they burned through my Noah, but still, relatively easy, safe win there. And this we're gonna lose, but that's okay. A very thirsty librarian for sure. Rapunzel always trying to get in your pants. Yo, if they did a Nikke Destiny crossover, that would be sick. Lift, there already is none Rapunzel. That's literally what Rapunzel's default skin is. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna try and fight any of these people. I could probably beat Kite and take 5th, but I don't know if that's worth it. I might just want to wait until I get knocked down. I don't know. Should I just go for it? Am I getting greedy? They're gonna burst first in that comp. Maybe I should switch to Privity and then Scarlet. Let's see, let's see. If I switch these... And then if I fought Kite... Do you think I win this matchup? I lose the 3rd round. I'm confident I win the 2nd round. What do you think? Do I win this one? Do I win this first match? You guys are just still on these skins. What's my battery like? Am I okay here? Yeah. Is this winnable? Is this a winnable fight right here? I don't know. Makima does concern me, but I think we burst sooner. And they don't have any huge damage threat. They are pretty tanky though. Like they have Makima and Rapunzel and Pepper. I mean, I have my own Rapunzel, Noah, Noise. I feel like this is just like kind of a coin flip. This is like very 50-50. They have a bit of a CP advantage though. Alright, I think I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try this. Watch I lose the 2nd round, which I think is like my shoe-in victory. That has happened before. I'm like, alright, this one I'm guaranteed to win, and then I lose that and win the other 2. Alright, yes, we took out their Rapunzel. Okay, I think we got this. We got this. Because we destroyed their Rapunzel, I don't think they have any chance of coming back from here. Yeah, yep. But you'll notice, I didn't just, like, blow over them. Like, even though, like, yeah, they're only running Modernia, like, that was still, like, a decent team. Of course, that was an insta-win, that's fine, and then this is the one that I assume I lose. Alright, look at that. Learn to take risks, it pays off. I was trying to be too conservative at first there. And be like, oh, maybe I'll save my attack for later. Where am I currently in the point ranking? Let's see. Oof, down there in 10th. Alright, well hopefully I'll climb up a little bit throughout the day. People won't knock me down too much. Okay, So I think that is everything I need to do here. We can probably go to the tier list now. Wait, why do I have a thing on event? Oh, wait, do you guys want to do co-op runs? Co-op runs or tier list? I'm kind of feeling tier list because we've been talking about this for a while. And haven't actually started working on it. Alright, so we are going to switch over to... Oh, hello? Okay, so I've done a little bit of this already. Let me bring it up here. Need to readjust my window size here. Sorry, so I can see chat at the same time. We're switching over to kind of working on a tier list that I'm developing because I'm going to do a full tier list video. Probably soon, but you know, I've been putting a lot of effort into making this like a really good tier list, and so it's not something that I just wanted to throw together. And I was going to make one like a long time ago, like because you know everybody likes tier lists, right? But there were so many things that weren't working when the game first came out, and you know, they update skills and there were bugs and whatever anyway, so I just figured I would like hold off on actually doing it. So we're just going to work on this a little bit, and this might not necessarily be the final ranking, but this is just kind of like I said, I'm just going to work on it with you guys live here, and just kind of like, you know, things might move around, but it's a work in progress. Yeah, so this is a general tier list. So this would be a tier list that would include things for both PvP and PvE, but it's like, how should I explain this? This is really based off of like real world results and like what you would actually do. This is based off of like my own experience, my own testing, videos I have seen of other people online, you know, good compositions that I've seen people post in Theorycraft in Discord. You know, so you might see some things here that seem strange that like typically you might not see on a tier list, okay? And because this is kind of encompassing everything, if a unit is extremely good at one thing, that's all they need to be good at, right? So they might still be high on the tier list, and then you just don't use them for whatever the other things are that are bad. You get what I'm saying? So for the things that I already have up here, let's explain the tiers here. So I have quite a few tiers. I'm not sure if I'll keep all these tiers when I actually do it. I might take out at least one tier, but I think having more stratification is good because it allows a little bit more, you know, room for subtlety or showing actual, you know, stratification as opposed to just like lumping, you know, half the units in the game into like B tier or whatever, you know what I mean? So, just like I did for my waifu tier list, I have a god tier as my top tier list. And this is going to be like just the units that are kind of broken. Like they're just like probably better than the developers even intended them to be. You know what I mean? And so my goal here is to have like no more than 3, maybe only 1 or 2 units in this tier. Because this is like something, like I said, that is like more powerful than it probably should be, to the point where maybe it isn't even good for the game. And then S tier is, just like your top tier, like super good units. So these are units that are going to be, good no matter what the situation is, pretty much. And they're like head and shoulders above all the other units, but they're not necessarily like busted, you know what I mean? And then A tier is going to be, oops, sorry, what did I just do? I don't want to select the entire list like that. There we go. And then A tier is going to be your really, really strong units, So these are going to be, obviously not as busted or universally strong in everything, but some of the best units in the game. B tier are going to be, those mid-range units that are even, pretty strong in some situations, or they might allow you to do something that is like quite good in a very specific composition. C tier is kind of like your solid, just normally usable units. D tier, again, is probably still usable in some situations. So like Arya is a good example here. Like you can do a good shield comp with her, but in general, they're like kind of sub tier, you know what I mean? E tier is probably getting to the point where like no one's ever really going to use these units. And then F tier is just like really bad, right? So let's start out with the units I already have here, and take a look at. And again, these might move when I actually make the final tier list and make a video on it. So shout out to Product 23 or whatever she's called, is actually like kind of decent compared to the other R mass-produced Nikkes. Plus she's the original OG Pilgrim, Goddess of Victory, right? Idol Sun, surprisingly, is kind of useful too. Like if you were a brand new player, and I mean totally brand new, before you've done any polls, she can make it onto the team. And shout out to her for being the only Burst 3 support in the game. And then you got Product 08, EG, FA, OW, 12, Idol Flower, Idol Ocean. They're all pretty bad. All right, but yeah, so that's the F tier. For E tier, we got Belorta, sure. And then D tier, we have Arya. Like I said, generally not that great, but I have actually used her in multiple raids and combined her with Folkwang. That shield team can be useful for certain bosses. Blue Ocean, Neon, another one that's like, in the specific role is usable, but I feel like she's kind of just not that good, right? So I feel like she's kind of in a similar tier to Arya here. C tier, we got Helm. I almost want to put her a little higher. I don't know. Because she is useful in a lot of boss situations. Like you got that classic combo of like Scarlet, Modernia, Helm. And then Helm is your healer and allows Modernia not to burst. And she's just very strong there. Also is a good role player in the Snow White team. She might be second or third best healer in the game. I don't know. I feel like I might move her up to B, but we'll just keep her here for now. Power, very strong general attacker, but like not, I think, super amazing. So she's in C. Guillotine is another one that maybe could go up to B after her buff. Does a ton of damage, but is kind of limited because it's hard to use her. Yeah, Lone Syndicates. Let's see. It says G is God tier, S is great, B, A is good, B is average / niche, C below average, D if you have nothing else, and F is bad. I mean, that's somewhat fair, I suppose. Bay Goddess Mary, I think, again, is maybe like third or fourth best healer. A decent role player. But I kind of feel like Helm is maybe better than her. So maybe I should have Bay Goddess Mary below Helm or move Helm up, like I said. Biscuit, another decent role player in specific situations. Yes, power does need the cube to keep stacks up, but that's okay. Because, we have to evaluate these units as how we're actually going to use them, right? So, like, if they need a certain piece of equipment, that's okay. Because, like, Alice is only really good if you have a ton of charge speed, right? But no one's going to say Alice is bad. Yeah, Biscuit is good in PvP. Absolutely. Diesel. Diesel is just like a pretty good unit in any situation, whether it's PvP or PvE in general. But I would say slightly subpar. But the thing is with Diesel, you can do insane max ammo reload compositions. So, like, if you combine Diesel with Noir, and then like Alice or Scarlet or whatever, and you put like max ammo increases on them, Diesel can be really insane with high investment. So I might actually push Diesel up to a higher tier. But again, that's just kind of my starting point for her. Adme, again, you can do insane reload shenanigans. So, like, if you use Adme with Privity and then have, like, a highly invested resilience cube, you can make it so Alice kind of just doesn't even reload. Like, the reload is so instant. And again, you probably want to be adding Noir to that team, too. There was also the people, figured this out a long time ago. If you just use, like, Scarlet with, like, Privity and Adme, people would use that against Gravedigger. But I think the more busted thing with her is with a highly invested resilience cube and using Alice and Noir. Yeah, Syndicate's seen those max ammo comps with Diesel. It's pretty nuts. So I feel like Diesel might actually need to go a little higher. Miracle Fairy Anne, the best support for the Snow White team. She's absolutely insane in that situation, and a pretty good general PvP unit as well. So, I mean, you can see all these B tier units are very good. So again, Miranda, best tier burst 1 support for the Snow White team. And, the Snow White team is one of the best comps in the game. So that's going to put Miranda up here. Then you have Privity, really good in a lot of situations. I think she's below these units. Like, she's not as good as Scarlet, right? But she's still super good. Like, she's like the second best burst 3 probably in PvP, or at least top 3. And then her support ability to reload, again, I've mentioned this several times already, people like Alice and Scarlet, is pretty nuts. So she deserves to be pretty high. Rupee is just one of the best, like, DPS burst 2s in the game. I mean, I've done my full review on her. You guys know that Rupee can be very strong. Diesel doesn't even max ammo, just the cube. Yeah, maybe. I haven't built up my max ammo cube, but that's very possible. Some say leader is better in Snow White comp if you have enough charge speed. I mean, it's extremely difficult to get off Snow White's burst within that 5-second mark. You have like 0.1 seconds to be able to actually get it off. It's not impossible, but I would not say she's better. Nihilist, again, just one of the best general burst 2 DPS units in the game. Basically on par with Rupee. In a lot of situations, she's going to be slightly better than Rupee. Same kind of thing with Guilty. Nihilister in most situations will be better than Guilty, but Guilty can be pretty insane. You can bind her with a fully stacked You know, high attack Scarlet or Modernia, and she'll do insane damage. And then Anise, I mean, this is one that a lot of people might not see coming. I'm sure some of you guys in chat know why Anise is good. I was just using her in Special Arena, right? Anise on her own is pretty terrible, but the fact that she has the highest burst generation in the game gets her up here. You know, she's kind of dead weight on your PvP team. She's only providing burst gen, so she's not up here. But getting that burst gen is just valuable. You're going to see this in anybody's any top 10 kind of person on a competitive server. Oops. You're going to see Anise on their team. You think Biscuit is at least B tier? Because she's a jack of all trades character who can support all classes. I mean, I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I think the fact that she is a jack of all trades is actually a little bit of a mark against her. I think she'd be better if she was actually more focused on a certain type. But, I mean, Biscuit maybe could get deserved to go up a little bit. I don't know. Where do I have her right now? In the C tier. I mean, I don't know if she's better than I mean, look at the people I have her with. Is Biscuit actually better than Helm and the Diesel comp that I was just talking about? I'm not sure. The rebuilding cover is definitely underrated. All right, so going up to our A tier here, these are some of the best units in the game, right? Dorothy is just extremely strong. Some would argue that Dorothy is the best burst 1 in the game. I'm not sure if that's really true. I mean, Dorothy is so good, right? I've talked about this before too, and in my Dorothy review, Leader and Dorothy, it's 50-50 on which is better. And then in a lot of cases, when you're fighting a boss, Dorothy is going to be better. But if you don't have a lot of parts to hit, Dorothy's power dramatically decreases. Also, a lot of people talk about how her burst can wipe the screen, which is not wrong, but it's not really a true screen wipe because the more enemies are out there, the worse that is... Ooh, sorry, my screen just went to sleep there. The worse her burst is actually going to get. So, I mean, your best scenario is not having a lot of ads out and you're just fighting a boss that has at least 3 parts to hit. I would say if you're getting less than 3 parts, I think Dorothy's power is significantly dropping. 3 or more parts, she's very, very strong though. Privity helps her skill too, and many times. I mean, Privity and Dorothy in general are a very strong composition. But anyway, I mean, she's incredibly good. Then we have Scarlet, just probably the best general DPS in the game. I mean, her damage is so insanely high. She is the best burst 3 in PvP. You can do all kinds of different quick reload comps. You can screen wipe with her. I mean, she's just insane, right? Both her and Dorothy are extremely powerful. Modernia, I think, is right there in the same tier. Unfortunately, her burst isn't very good against bosses, but her burst is super good against any kind of campaign stages. She's extremely good. I'd say she's the best burst 3 for pushing hard mode campaign, just general stages. And then if you combine her with 2 other burst 3s, she's still going to have insane DPS against bosses. So, I mean, Modernia, I think, is right up there. Noir is next. I mean, the Bunny Girls, I don't have Blanc, unfortunately. But I think we've all seen just how good these girls are. And this is another situation of, they're kind of dependent on each other. Sorry, my screen keeps going to sleep. But it's okay. Noir can function on her own, and Blanc is so good when combined with Noir. I think they both deserve to be up here in the A tier. I mean, Noir is in like the infinite ammo team. She's an attack buffer. There's just continuous attack buff for everybody. Her burst is actually, I think, a little underrated. Yeah, I feel like there's no situation where Noir is going to be bad. She's kind of mid in PvP because her burst generation is actually pretty bad for a shotgun user. Yeah, Dorothy gives you a good light show, that's for sure. Big Kusa says you would pick Leader over Dorothy since her utility for any occasion. Yeah, we'll talk about Leader when we get there, but yeah. I mean, Blanc can even be a Snow White buffer. We were talking about that on last stream, I think. Blanc can be an amazing tank. Blanc is so good. I definitely want Blanc. Jackal. Probably the best Burst 1 PvP unit. Her burst generation is only lower than Anise. And she's just in general going to be actually adding a little bit more to your team than just burst generation, whereas like Anise is only serving burst generation, whereas Jackal is like a decent unit on her own. You can also combine her with Emma for insane tankiness plus insane burst generation. So, I mean, yeah, Jackal is easily one of the best units. Senti, kind of like I was saying with Modernia, might be one of the best units in the game for just like pushing hard mode campaign. She's also extremely good in PvP. So she has the third highest burst generation in the game below Jackal and Anise. Her shield is super good for blocking any kind of one-hit massive attacks. Good in any kind of PvE stage against a lot of bosses. In PvP, might be the best general use burst 2 in the game. Senti is such a queen. Noir saves lives, that right. Yeah, Dorothy in a lot of stages will do some kind of dumb stuff with branding if you have like mobs out there. It's true. I mean, Dorothy, Malk, yes, she can help you clear a lot of campaign. Absolutely. I mean, Dorothy is extremely strong. Like, look at her. I feel like a lot of people are thinking that I'm selling Dorothy short, but like all these units in A tier are insane, right? They're all extremely strong. Okay. Then we get to our S tier. I'm not exactly sure. Some units might come out of the God tier and go into S. Some might come out of S and go into A. Or maybe S will go up into God tier. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this. But Leader, I think, even though she is worse than Dorothy in some situations, Leader is just good no matter what, everywhere. Like, her Leader's worst situation is probably PvP. And even then, she's pretty good. Because she can give a super high attack buff to your Privity or Scarlet when they burst. She's the best unit, the only unit that's going to repair your cover. And people underestimate just how valuable repairing your cover is. Like, if she didn't have that repair cover ability, she might be worse than Dorothy because Dorothy's DPS is so high. But repairing cover is just insane. Like, I don't know how... I can't overstate how good repairing cover is. Plus, she has the cooldown reduction, which Dorothy does have as well, but Leader's going to have better cooldown reduction. And she has the huge attack buff, which ultimately will probably result in less overall DPS than Dorothy in a lot of situations. But in some situations, like I said, if Dorothy doesn't have a lot of parts to hit, Leader is probably going to push your team's DPS up higher. And like, I was pushing through campaigns hard mode stage 12, and you can kind of go back and forth. Like, in some stage, I used Leader, and then I couldn't pass it. I couldn't pass it. I said that weird. But then I switched to Dorothy and I was able to pass it. In other stages, I was using Dorothy. I couldn't pass it, and then I switched to Leader and I was able to pass it. So they're really close. Right now, the reason why I'm thinking Leader is higher is because there's just more things that Leader are going to be good at, I think. Like, I think it just gives Leader a little bit of an edge. Plus, you don't get blinded and you can tell what's happening when you burst, unlike with Dorothy. And then we have Rapunzel. I think this might be one of the things that people might find controversial. Even though no one's going to say Rapunzel is bad, right? I think Rapunzel still doesn't get enough credit. Like, Rapunzel is just... I mean, no one does healing like Rapunzel. No one does reviving like Rapunzel. No one also has amazing burst generation like Rapunzel. You know, like as a support and just being able to push hard content, she's just nuts. Like, I would say Rapunzel is more helpful for pushing campaign stages than even Senti or Leader or Dorothy. Like, Rapunzel just makes such a huge difference. Like, her healing is just insane. She allows you to push through things where your CP is lacking more than, like, anybody else. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what else I can say about her. And, like, and there's been times in, like, raids where I'm doing a super good run, but then, like, just something happens, a unit goes down, and then I can, like, instantly revive them with Rapunzel, and I'm right back in it. And, like, you just can't do that with any other unit. Plus, like we saw earlier when I was doing my mock battles against the solo raid, like, her combination with Nero now actually makes Nero, like, pretty top tier. Like, we were able, even with zero investment in my Nero, because I had Nero and Rapunzel, I just completely ignored all the boss's lasers and just tanked everything without a problem. Like, she's just, like, super dumb. Plus, in Arena, she has, like, top tier burst generation, like, just below, like, Anise, Senti, and Jackal. You have Rapunzel. Like, Rapunzel is super good. Plus, she's just going to revive people, healing. You combine her with tanks in PvP. Like, Rapunzel is pretty busted. Oops, my screen just went to sleep again. When I'm not playing the game, it'll, like, time out. So, my bad. Yeah, people are saying keep her in S tier. Yeah, she is pretty dumb in Arena and just everywhere. And, like, if you're struggling with, like, Mother Whale, like some people in the Discord were talking about it, like, Rapunzel should just, like, single-handedly, like, keep you alive against Mother Whale or whoever. She's pretty nuts. Okay, anyway, I think I've praised Rapunzel enough. Hopefully I made my point there. I'm getting my, like, screens out of alignment. Hopefully I didn't just, like, mess up things on OBS here. Yeah, she can also stun, that's true. Big Kusa brings up a good point. Like, this rarely comes up, but the fact that she'll just randomly stun the enemy team is pretty valuable. Like, that 1 second stun, like, I lost an arena battle, and I was like, what just happened? What stunned me? And because it's rare that you're actually going to get low enough on her health because she keeps healing all the time, but if it happens, and then she heals, and then she stuns, it gives her more opportunity to heal again before the enemy can start attacking you. Or it can delay their burst. I don't know. Rapunzel is just insane. All right, so then we get to the God tier. These are units that, like, I think might have been a mistake. Like, I think they're way better than the developers thought they were going to be. And they're just, like, head and shoulders against what any other units can do. So, we have Alice. Alice is just bananas, right? Like, okay, yes, we have a lot of people cheating with macros, and it just makes Alice, like, dummy good. But even if you're playing with her legitimately, Alice is still incredibly insane. And you can practice, clicking fast enough with your mouse. It's harder to do on mobile, but you can do it there too. Tap, tap, tap. You just got to get the timing right. You can do the animation cancellation. It is possible. It's just way harder. And you're probably never going to quite reach the level of people that are using a macro. But either way, Alice is just insane. It's totally absurd. Combining her with Maxwell or Novel or Blanc. She's extremely good with leader. You can do Pierce teams or just general DPS. She's also very good in arena. I mean, she's I don't know. I probably don't need to keep going on about Alice. You can do the infinite ammo with her. So you can get her reload speed high enough to where she literally doesn't reload. So if you have a high level resilience cube and then you combine her with Privity, Adme, and Noir, you can just not ever reload. So it's legitimately broken. I've seen a comp with Leader, Adme, Privity, Noir, and Alice, right? Yeah, that's the 5 squad. And then Alice literally just continually shoots and just never stops. You can't even see the reload animation. It's totally busted. And then you have Snow White, my personal favorite. And again, I think she's just kind of too good. The fact that you can one-shot interception bosses is just nuts. And her Pierce, the ability to get multi-hits. So when I was fighting the Harvester earlier, you'll notice I wasn't aiming at the leg. I forget who called this out in chat actually on the last stream. But if you aim at the armpit, you can hit the leg and the body. And I did almost 60 million damage in one shot. So, I mean, yeah. Snow White is super, super busted. And there's multiple Snow White teams you can do, right? The best Snow White team is probably Miranda, Christmas Anne, Snow White, Maxwell, and Dola. Because then you get some cooldown reduction there too, and you can actually do it again. And that's probably your absolute best Snow White team. But keep in mind, I was doing insane stuff. I don't have Maxwell yet. You guys all know I don't have Maxwell. and it still just doesn't even matter. She'd be even stronger with Maxwell. Because Maxwell gives you the faster charge speed, plus an insane charge damage bonus. It's totally bananas. So, but you can also combine her with Yulha. Yulha gives her an insane attack buff. If you don't have Christmas Anne, you can give her Polly, which gives a super good attack buff. Privity is a decent substitute for Maxwell. Helm, I think, is probably actually the person you'll use with her most often, because you'll probably put Maxwell with your Alice team if you're doing raids, right? Assuming you have Maxwell. Tier. And then Helm gives you the attack bonus when you go into full burst, as well as healing. I mean, I don't know. Snow White is stupid good. And then you have Maxwell, who I'm tempted to put Maxwell down here in the S tier, because she's kind of not as busted as Snow White and Alice. If Snow White and Alice didn't exist, Maxwell wouldn't be in God tier. She would be down here, right? Of course, then there wouldn't even be a God tier, because Alice and Snow White wouldn't be there either, right? But I guess what I'm saying is Maxwell is only amazing because of these other two units. But she is also the best support, even though technically she's an attacker, She is the best support for both Snow White and Alice, who are the best DPS units in the game. So just the fact that she is like the best person for the other two best people, I think puts her up in the god tier. And honestly, she's still incredibly strong for herself. Like I said, just even on her own, I think she would probably be an S tier, if not an A tier unit. Because like she gives an extremely high attack, charge damage bonus, and charge speed bonus. Like if you like, is it her skill 1 or her skill 2? I think it's her skill 1, and her burst are both insane. And she can do nearly as much damage as Alice in most Alice compositions. So I think she deserves to be up there in the god tier. Yeah, you can do Alice plus Helm too. I could see that. That is legit. I mean, and that's the great thing about Snow White and Alice. There are multiple comps. Like there's like, you know, maybe like 2 units that are always going to use with them. But then there's multiple variations that you can use. So if you kind of need to move some other people around a little bit for your raid teams, they're still going to be insane and they can take advantage of other units. Yeah, you don't have Maxwell, but she tops. Yes, yes. In more ways than one. My missless poll will be Maxwell. Oh, I hope so, lazy boy. I hope so. Yeah, it's her skill 1 and her burst skill. Yeah. All right, so that's what I have on the tier list so far. I'm gonna go grab a drink of water here really quick, and then we'll see about building the tier list more. Okay, so we're gonna add in some units that I don't have on the tier list already. Be right back. All right, we are back. Okay, so who can we add here? All right, I'm just gonna go to a list of units on like Nikke.gg or whatever, and kind of go through these alphabetically of ones that like I haven't added yet. Oh, I brought a candy too. Gotta get that blood sugar back up. Okay. So I've done Adme, Alice, Anise, Arya, Big Goddess Mary. Dang, I almost choked. Okay, Brid. Brid is a unit I have not yet added. Where does Brid go? I want to say... Here's some candy, guys. Kit Crow keeps asking for sharing. I want to say Brid probably goes down here. In the D tier. Brid has her uses. She can do a ton of damage. And she's a good, like, poor man's Scarlet or whatever, or Snow White. If you don't have them and you're, like, recently unlocked Special Interception. So it's definitely not that she's bad. But I think it's just there's not a lot of situations when you'll actually use Brid. So I feel like her being around with, like, Arya and Blue Ocean is probably where she wants to be. People are already protesting. Like, no, Brid should be higher. But yeah, I think the fact that keeping her health up is rough. So she's good against, like against Modernia as the classic example, because Modernia isn't hitting you. So like you can use like Brid and D if you're like new to Special Interception, and then you can like use that to instantly burst and like take out the core with a ton of damage from Brid. But I don't know. I don't really think... Yeah. I can't really see... Because I don't think she's as good as, like, Helm and, like, Guillotine post-buff. Oops. Sorry, guys. Keep forgetting that my screen is going to fall asleep. Okay. Alright, I don't want to spend too long on each of these units. Because, like I said, this is just kind of like a preliminary tier list. I want to get things down on paper. All right, Senti, I already have her listed. Coco. Where does Coco go? To be honest, I know Coco can do some stuff. Like, she can increase her stacks for fire units. She theoretically has some good abilities, but I think she's just normally not that good. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually saw somebody using Coco in any kind of special arena or any raid team. I know this seems kind of weird, but I think I'm just going to put her down here. Down in the E tier. She feels better than Belorta for sure, but like, I don't know. Maybe Belorta will have to get moved down to F tier possibly. But I think it's more of a potential Belorta issue than a Coco issue. Okay. Who's next? Yeah, it revolves around content that's not in the game yet. Yeah, you're kind of right. All right, then we have Crow next. I think Crow probably also goes down here. I love Crow's design. That's not how you spell Crow. I love Crow's design. She was one of my first SSRs, but not so great. The only Burst 3 defender in the game. So shout out to her for that. Can't really say much else about her. Okay, then we have D. My first polling session that went horribly. D is the one that originally messed up my luck. I always had insane luck on every new banner until we hit D, and then it all went awry. I want to say D... Is D in the D tier, or is she in C tier? What do you think? I feel like probably D tier, right? Because is she really better than like Blue Ocean, Neon? I don't really think she's as good as like Helm and Power. D is at least B tier, we're saying. I don't know. You think so? So you're saying D is as good as Miracle Fairy Anne and Privity? Or Nihilister? I don't think so. There's no way D is that strong. C at best. I would put D in C tier. She's kind of useless in a lot of places. Yeah, it's kind of what I feel. Like her ability to burst right away is really cool in a very small situations. But then I think in those situations, a lot of times, once you have a high level account, you kind of don't even need that anyway. I feel like she's going down here. D tier. D is in the D tier. Okay. And keep in mind, just because a unit is niche doesn't mean they're going to be lower on the tier list. But I think if they are niche, they have to be like the best person to be using there if they're super niche, you know? Like Anise. She's extremely niche, but she's extremely good at what she's done. So she's up here all the way in B tier. Oh my god, my screen. Okay. Delta. Alright, I think Delta is down here. You know, the thing about these tiers that I might change, I don't know, like, just no one's, like, legitimately as bad as, like, all the R-rank Nikkes, right? So they're kind of all significantly below everybody else, but it's also kind of a useless tier, because, like, okay, sure, F tier, then, like, no one's, like, lower than the mass-produced R Nikkes. Yes, Flip, D does kill Modernia's core. D's cutscene is pretty sick. Okay. Who else? Alright, next is Diesel. I already have her on the... Oops, sorry. I already have her on the list. I already have... Do I have Dola on the list already? I don't think I already have Dola on here, do I? On launch, I think Dola would have been like at least B tier, maybe A tier. Dola was super good on launch. But I feel like at this point, we kind of don't need Dola that much. Dola might actually be another D tier character. Oh, that sucks. I don't know. No, she's not that. I feel like she's C. But I don't know. Am I just... Is it just copium? Is it just because I'm a fan of Dola? Does Dola actually deserve to be up here? Like realistically, am I actually using Dola as much as, like... I guess I do use her on my Snow White team usually. Yeah, Dola probably is at least C tier. Does Dola deserve to be in B tier? That's my question. Yes, Hugh, exactly. That's where I use Dola. Because you get the CT, because there's no other good, like, CT, or, why am I saying this? Cooldown, CD reduction for the Snow White team. Like, is she B tier? Like, she's not as good as Miracle Fairy Anne, Miranda, Privity. Do I have Add Me too high? It's just you can do crazy shenanigans. Like, if you really invest, Add Me is kind of nuts. That's why I have Add Me up here. Because having the, like, infinite ammo when you have your reload speed up high enough is kind of just busted. So I think Dola, yeah. Dola goes here. Isn't Adme a better burst 2 for Snow White and Alice? Adme is better for Alice. I wouldn't say she's better for Snow White. All right. Okay, we already have Dorothy, Drake. I don't have Drake listed yet, do I? Yeah, I agree, Kusa. Like, people don't realize just how insane Adme can be. I feel like she is dismissed. Okay, Drake. All right, so Drake is another unit that was, like, extremely good on launch, and I think has just fallen off a little bit. And I know there's a lot of Drake fans out there, particularly now that she has the new skin. The race car skin is good. She looks hot. I know, I get it. But I think Drake, you know, if we're being real here, I think in 99% of situations, other than Special Arena, Noir is just better than Drake. Like, Noir has just basically replaced Drake in almost every situation. And the only reason she's still better in Arena than Noir is because she has better burst generation. I mean, the attack buff is still relevant. I don't know. I feel like Drake, like on launch, Drake would have been an A tier. Has she dropped to B or has she dropped to C? B or C? Like, is Drake actually genuinely as useful as, like, Privity, Miranda, Miracle Fairy, Ant? Like, these are part of the best comps in the game. I feel like Drake... I mean, I also want to think about this, like, I can't make these necessarily make it all relative with units, right? Because, like, just because she's basically replaced by Noir could still mean she's good, right? And, like, maybe people don't have Noir, and Drake could still be very, very solid. You say B? I kind of think you might be right. Like, I'm tempted to put Drake down into C. But Drake probably is still worthy of being B. Because even though she's replaced by Noir, I think we can put Drake here. But, I don't know. Is she actually better than Helm? I'm kind of talking myself out of this. Like, is she better than Guillotine? I'm putting Drake down here. I just talked myself out of it. Drake is going into C tier. Like Drake is good, but you know, I just realistically I don't think she deserves to be higher. And it doesn't mean that she can't be used, you know? Like, C is still, you know, I think also keep in mind, I have more stratification. I have more tiers than a lot of tier lists actually have. So I think C sounds worse than it is. You know what I mean? Okay. Then we have Emma. Emma is very mid in PvE. Not terrible, but, you know, pretty mid. I'd probably put her down here in, like, the D tier. But she's really strong in Arena. Really, really strong in Arena. Although not as strong as she used to be. I feel like we're starting to get enough units that have really good burst generation that Emma isn't as good in Arena as she used to be. So I feel like Emma is maybe also C tier. because she is still very good in arena. I feel like the temptation is to put her into D, but like if you actually look at how good she is in arena, you know, we're trying to look at what the units are good at, not what they're bad at. I feel like Emma deserves to be in C tier. A lot of people are saying D. I think she's a C. Like I said, not as good in arena. I think she may have actually been like A tier in arena like a few months back, but not really anymore. Okay. Who is next? Epinel. Yeah, she has more counters now for sure. And like I said, I think we also just have more options for good burst generation too. All right. Epinel, I think, is not great, but not terrible. Does Epinel go in D or E tier? Is Epinel good enough to go into D? We'll put Epinel here for now. Honestly, I have used her very little, and I don't really ever see her used. So I was tempted to put her down here in E tier. Someone did point out she has actually a pretty good AoE that could be very good in the tower. I think maybe she just gets overlooked. But I'm kind of tempted to put her down in E tier. S tier for wallpaper. I agree, Malk. I was using her wallpaper for a while. A mini heron. Yeah. All right. I'm happy with putting her there in D tier. Ether. I think she goes down here. I don't think anybody will argue with that. Who else? Yunhua. Yunhua is not great, and she's a bit of a bitch. But I think she's better than some people think. I think the problem is just we have like so many better options. But I almost want to put Yunhua in D tier. Like I think the reflex for most people is to put her into E. But I feel like Yunhua might deserve D tier. Because she actually has some pretty strong abilities. I think the problem is just that that slot is very crowded. On the other hand, is she really as good as like D and Brid? Probably not. By the way, I am going to try and adjust these as being like good, like left to right in the tiers. I'm not worrying about this too much right now, but when I make the final tier list, I'll try and do like, you know, best on the left and like worse in the tier to the right. So Yunhua could probably be like at the bottom of D tier, right? I think we'll, let's see, how do I spell her name? E-U-N, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I think she'll probably be somewhere in D tier. You can be a defense down team with Brid. I could see that. Here, let me check something really quick here. Yeah. Okay. Who's our next unit? Exia. I don't know if I've ever even used Exia, and I haven't seen her used anywhere either. I don't even know what Exia does. Let me see. Exia, skill 1. When the last round of ammunition hits, affects the target if the caster is in collected hacking code. Attack down, defense down for 5 seconds. Skill 2 activates when the last round of ammunition hits. Collecting hacker, attack up, stacks up to 5 times. That's pretty good. So this is another last round gimmick. Could combine her with like Privity or Add Me or Dorothy, like another one of those. She increases her attack and decreases attack and defense of the enemy. And let's see. She's got a 20-second cooldown on her burst. Is she a burst 2? Burst 2? Burst 1? Burst 1, okay. Affects 10 enemies with the highest defense. Okay, so probably just all the enemies in like 90% of situations. Deals 122% of attack as damage. Decreases defense by 5 seconds, but like barely, only 2.7%. And then it affects the same target if collective hacking is fully stacked. Deals another 122% attack as additional damage. That's kind of decent. Like, I think the problem is she probably just doesn't have a high enough attack stat to really hit hard with that stuff. But I could see her being, like, actually decent against bosses. I mean, she could be up here. Like, I could see her being, like, pretty good. Like, you could combine her with, like, Brid, honestly. Like, do a Brid, Privity, Exia team. I think, like, she could be good against bosses. I think I'll put Exia here. Okay, Folkwang. Folkwang, I think, is an underappreciated unit. Folkwang has some of the best assets in the game, if you know what I mean. One of my launch S-tier waifus. And I want to put her up here in C tier, but realistically, she's going down here in D tier. So she's like, you know, paired with Arya to be the shield team, and is actually like pretty strong in that specific situation. But she's, you know, that's probably like your 4th raid team that you're making, and even then she's not going to be on like every raid. It depends on the boss, but for some raids she's probably going to be like your 4th team. So yeah, she goes right next to Arya. Okay, what is next? Freema. Freema is not great. I think, like, she's a support, but kind of effectively a defender, right? If I remember. Let me see. So she's a burst 1. And she has a... Is it a 20-second cooldown? Yes, 20-second cooldown. Sniper supporter. Activates after landing 4 normal attacks at the target. Defense goes down for 10 seconds. That's pretty good. 4 hits isn't a whole lot either. Then she has a passive skill 2. Activates when attacking with full charge. Affects all allies. Max HP goes up for 5 seconds. That's kind of terrible, if I'm honest. I don't know if that's, like, useful at all. Her burst affects 10 enemy targets with the highest defense. Deals 100% of attack damage. Defense goes down for 10 seconds. Her defense abilities are just straight garbage, but her offensive abilities could be worse. I think she still goes down here, though. Putting her in the E tier. I actually like Freeman as a character. I like her like casual design too. Good IRL look. Okay. You know, some of these units that you don't see at all, there's like a reason for it, but then I'm just like not even sure. I'm like, oh, are they, like, how low are they? All right, we already have Guillotine and Guilty on the list. Heron, okay. So Heron is another unit that was like really strong at launch. Like she would have been like S tier for sure at launch. But I think one of the main things that hurt Heron was like Modernia coming out, because Modernia just kind of does like the same type of things as Heron in a lot of ways, but is just better, even though I know they seem different. It's like machine gun and sniper rifle, but Haran, I gotta get used to saying Haran. I think it's Haran, not Heron. I think she's still strong though. Like again, like what if you don't have Modernia? You know, she also has Pierce, which I used Pierce against Rebuild Stout. I used Heron. She did good damage. Is Heron worth being B tier? It's either B or C. She's also like decent in PvP, I think. I think, yeah, I'm seeing some B here. Yeah, her AoE is still pretty good for screen wipes. It's kind of like almost like a better version of Dorothy's in that manner, to be honest. All right, I think Haran is going to go in B. And you know what? After talking about all this, I kind of want to put Helm up in B tier. I feel like Helm kind of deserves to be up here. What do you think? Because I do feel like Helm is like a top 3 healer, and she's going to be like on like any raid you do, she's going to be on one of your teams. She's also like the best unit to fight Nihilister no matter what. And like, yeah. I think I need to bump Helm up. Yeah. Yeah. She's a good combo in a lot of situations. She's also like, I have her on my Snow White team very often. Yeah. Okay. Himeno. Honestly, I think Himeno is D tier. I don't think she's down here in E tier. That might be controversial, but I think Himeno is actually pretty good. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Maybe she'd be down in E tier. But I kind of think that she's good enough to be up here. We might come back to it. All right, who's next? Isabel. The only Pilgrim that I don't have. She was on the OG shotgun team. The way like the first of us were able to fight Gravedigger. Some people now say Isabel is terrible. But I think she can still be good. And she has kind of it's a little bit gimmicky. People are trying to get cute using Isabel with Vesti, but I think it's actually like kind of decent. Does Isabel go here? Keep in mind, just as being a pilgrim, she has like higher stats. I feel like maybe Isabel just goes right here where Helm was. And she probably won't be really at the top of C. Like when I make the final tier list, she'll probably be further down the bottom. But I feel like she could be C tier. Although, is she really better than like Blue Ocean Neon? Maybe not. Maybe Isabel goes down lower. C tier or D tier? I mean, she's still pretty good as a shotgun team against like Gravedigger with like the double cooldown reduction. And the team with Vesti is kind of nuts. I feel like I think I'm going to put her here. It kind of feels weird, but I think she deserves to be C tier. I think given the right composition, she can be as effective as people like Guillotine, Bay Goddess Mary. I feel like she's in this tier. Someone sent me a screenshot of Isabel doing tons of damage. Isabel is almost full overloaded. Nice, nice. Yeah. She shines in Union Raid. Yeah, I feel like Isabel deserves to be there. Okay. Jackal. Do I have Jackal on my list already? I don't think I do. Jackal? Oh, I do. Okay, yeah. Yep, she deserves to be up here in A tier for sure. One of the best arena units in the game. Like, you're not going to win in Special Arena if you don't have Jackal. She's just insane. All right. Julia. Oh, Julia. I would say just generally kind of weak. Just does not do enough. Julia goes down here. I love her design. She was one of my favorite looking launch units, but she's just not good. Yeah, I think Isabel is kind of underrated. People like to hate on her. Okay. Laplace. I think Laplace is probably C tier. She's going to be in the same tier as Power, Guillotine, Drake, Laplace. I think they're all like, yeah. Seems good. Who else? Leader we already have on the list. Ludmilla. Ludmilla is good in Arena. Ludmilla is good against Train. Ludmilla is decent, I think, if you have enough investment in her against our current raid boss here of Harvester. I feel like Ludmilla is probably... Ludmilla, C tier or D tier? She might be at like the top of D tier. Or at the bottom of C tier. I want to say we're going to put Ludmilla... I think Ludmilla might move down, but we're putting her here for now. We passed the 3-hour mark. Yeah, this is going to be a long stream. We might wrap it up here in a second. In fact, we just made it to another letter in the alphabet of M's. So I think that might be where we call it quits. All right, well, another great stream with you guys. I knew we were doing something like kind of different here at the end, but I want to like help build this tier list and kind of talk to you guys about like what my actual thoughts are, like my philosophy behind making the tier list. And I think that this might be, my goal is to make this one of the actually like most realistic tier lists of what people are actually able to use, and you look at the top potential of each of these units and what things you're going to end up putting on your teams or not, you know? So yeah, hopefully this turns out to be a really good tier list by the time we're done with it. So thanks for everybody for hanging out and doing the mock battle raids as well. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I will be streaming again on Monday night. As usual, Monday and Wednesday streams. And I will also be doing my Nero review. Nero Paradise. This is a good time to stop because I've lost the ability to speak. Nero review. That is so hard to say. Nero review is coming out either tonight or the next night. She's looking pretty good, so keep an eye out for that video. I appreciate all the support, all the subs. If you haven't subscribed already, please give me a subscription. I know the algorithm does its best to like show you what you want anyway, and no one bothers subscribing anymore. But in my recent community post, I showed that I had like 15,000 different people viewing, but only 1,500 subs. So I would definitely appreciate if you are watching the videos, please give me a subscription. It helps me out a ton to reach certain metrics as a creator. So, all right, have a good weekend, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next stream.